Welcome back, my lovely sewing friends. My name is Annette and I'm sewing in Michigan. Allow me to apologize for my voice. I am at the tail end of a cold. I've been fighting this thing for the past week and a half. I've been really congested, having trouble sleeping, and all the good stuff that comes with that. So please forgive my stuffy sounding voice. Also, you can probably tell it's dark out already. It's evening. It is 9:24 p.m. as I'm recording this. And our internet has been out all afternoon and evening. It went out about 3 o'clock or so, and they said it should be back up by 6. That didn't happen. Then they said 9. Now they're saying 11, and it's almost 9:30, so we'll see if we get our power back. Meantime, I have been working with my phone on hotspot and using up a lot of data points or whatever it's called. But all in a good cause. I am here to give you a summary and reveal of the collaboration that I've been working on with my lovely friend Caroline. If you saw my prior video, you may already know that the collab that Caroline and I are working on is the toaster sweater by Sew House 7. Here you can see the header from the lovely Caroline's YouTube channel. Her handle is Sweet Pea Sewing, and I hope that after you watch my video, you will go over and follow her channel and take a look at what she has come up with. And if you are over here from Caroline's channel, I want to say you're very welcome here. Thank you for coming to see what I have done. Quick sideline, this is me made. This fleece sweater I'm wearing is from last year, and it was kind of a hack. I had a ready-to-wear fleece top that I liked, and so I laid it out and traced it and made a duplicate. This fleece was from Joann's, and I've worn this a lot, and it's been laundered many, many times, and so it's starting to get a little worn and pilly looking, but I still love it. I like to be cozy. I'm always cold this time of year, which is why the Sew House 7 toaster sweater is going to be perfect. Now, we came up with this collab when Caroline and I realized that we both owned this pattern. Neither of us had ever made it, and we had both been wanting to make it. So we decided, why don't we both make one and share our results with each other and with our respective audiences. So we agreed to make it in a fall colored fabric for autumn, and that we would stay within the kind of red pink range of colors. Beyond that, we didn't put any stipulations on what we were going to do. You can see that the sweater has 2 views. We didn't even pick which view we were going to be doing. It's up to each of us how we want to approach this pattern. Now, for me, I am planning to make view A, the first one, the one on the left that has the turtleneck and the wide cuffs and wide hemband. And the fabric that I chose, I showed in the last video, and I'll show you again, is this beautiful kind of a wine-colored cable sweater knit fabric that I got from EKB Fabrics online. Now, it's kind of hard to show it to you in the video, so I did take a photograph of it that you can see in the middle of the slide here. In that photograph, it's coming up very rusty red looking, whereas in reality, it's more this color. It's coming up more true to color in the video, which is a deep wine red color. So I'm hoping that when you see me cutting it and sewing it and wearing it, you'll be able to see the color a little truer. But I wanted to put in that photograph so you could see the pattern to it. I was looking for a sweater knit that had a cable pattern to it, and I found this online and ordered it. Now, I was hoping for something a little more sweatery, a little softer and fluffier, thicker, cushier, but this was the best I could do with the resources available to me in the time frame that I had. And it's pretty. I like it. It's a little stiffer and coarser than I would have liked. I wanted something softer and fluffier. But for a first try, for the first go at the toaster sweater pattern, I think it's going to work just fine. I have the pattern here. I have never even opened up the envelope yet, so this is all starting from scratch for me. And of course, the first thing we need to decide is what size I'm going to make. So I have reproduced the measurement chart here on the page. You can see it on the back of the pattern envelope here. And looking at this, my high bust is a 39 and my full bust is a 41, so I fall right into the size 14 on the first chart here, on the top chart. If I look at the finished garment measurements, that bust is 44, so that would give me 3 inches of ease. And since it's a stretchy fabric, I think that will be enough. I have looked online for information about this sweater, and it seems like it does come up pretty true to size, but maybe a tad on the big side. So I think that's going to be okay if I cut the size 14. As far as the fabric requirements go, I'm not concerned about that because this fabric is wide and I think I have 3 yards. So I'm going to have plenty of fabric for the size 14. So my first order of business is going to be to take the goodies out of the envelope here, and I see that we have an instruction booklet, and it is in the form of a booklet, and it has line drawings on the inside, not photographs but line drawings. So we'll see how that goes. And then the pattern here is on typical brown tissue paper, as the big 4 patterns usually come on. I'm going to have to figure out which line to cut, which could be a little challenging because, as you can see here, there are many, many sizes included in the one pattern. So I think my next order of business is going to be to locate the cutting line for the size 14 and get my pattern pieces cut out. It's the next day and I have the pattern cut out and I'm getting ready to cut out the fabric. But I wanted to share with you a few comments about the pattern first. So one thing I really like about this pattern is that the pattern pieces for view 1 and view 2 are on separate sheets. So since I knew I wanted to make view 1, I only took out that sheet and I folded the view 2 sheet back up and put it in the envelope. There are 7 pieces that go with the first view. And one thing I did look for in the pattern booklet, in the instruction booklet, was the legend for the sizes. And I didn't find it in the instruction book. It was only on the corner of the tissue sheet. So I would have liked to see that reproduced in the booklet as well, but no big deal. I just cut it out like this, and I discovered that since I want to make a size 14, I needed this line here, which is 2 dots and a long dash. Now, as you can see, all of these are pretty similar. You know, they're various dotted and dashed lines. So the way I worked was to say, okay, it goes up to a 20, and I am the 4th size from the biggest, so I'm going to cut on that 4th line in. that helped me to find this 2 dots and a long dash line, because you can probably see in some places, like right here at the top of the neckline, everything is so close together, it's kind of hard to see what's what. So by using that idea of cutting from the 4th line in, I was able to find my pattern pieces. So there are 7 pieces to this version of the sweater. Piece 1 here is the front, which is cut on the fold. Piece 2 is the back, cut on the fold. Number 3 is the sleeve. Now, there is a lengthen or shorten line on the sleeve and also on the front and back pieces right here. And I think I will be extending the body of it by a couple of inches. I'm not sure about the sleeve. I may not need to extend that, but I think the body part I will extend a little bit. And then, so that's pieces 1, 2, and 3, the front, back, and sleeve. Now, piece 4 is the turtleneck neckband, as you can see there. Now, this is interesting. Pieces 5 and 6 are the front bottom band and the back bottom band, and they are slightly different. If I lay them end to end, it looks like the front band is about an inch wider than the bottom band. So that's interesting. I've made tops like this before where those have been identical. So I'll have to make sure I cut those separately. And then this is the cuff. And you can see it has this shape to it so that when it's sewn on, it's going to be a little wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. So I'm going to get busy cutting this out, and I will check back in with you. I have my sweater cut out here, and you can see with the front and back pieces, I did use the lengthen and shorten line to extend the body by 2 inches. So that's what we have here. Now, the notches are interesting. I did not cut an outward notch on these, but I think I'm going to have to snip them in because notches are important on a raglan sleeve if you've ever made one, because there's a different side of the sleeve that attaches here versus here, and you can see this is a single and this is a double, so it makes a difference. Here's the sleeve. I did not cut it longer. I thought about it, but I just cut it to the regular length. And the cuff. Now, I was pleased that this fabric does have a right and a wrong side. I originally didn't think it did, but the color is slightly different on each side and the weave is slightly different. So that will also help me when I'm matching up those different sides of the sleeve. And another thing that I was pleased to discover is because of this line here, like, okay, you can see right here, this is the wrong side, this is the right side. So perhaps you can see one is more red and one is more maroon. And also the weave is a little more subtle here than it is on this side. At any rate, the lines in the cable were also very useful for cutting out the pieces on the straight of grain. So that's all done. Here's the bottom band, and this is the, what are you? The neckband. And again, you can see here the difference. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The difference between the right and wrong side. You can see the color difference and the weave difference. So that's going to be very helpful as I start sewing this up, which I'm going to do right now. And here's the finished product, and I absolutely love it. I love the color, I love the fit, I love the style. I will definitely be making more of these. Now, if you are a beginner sewist, a raglan sleeve is really easy to put together, and stretch knits are easier to sew with than you might think. I was afraid of stretch knits when I first started sewing seriously, but they're a lot easier to manipulate than you might think. I think this Sew House 7 toaster sweater is a beginner appropriate top, and especially with the colder weather on the way, I think you'd have a lot of fun whipping up some of these in a sweater knit fabric like this or in a fleece fabric. Now you can see the raglan sleeves here, how they go up toward the neckline. The neckband is both wide and tall, but it's loose fitting, which I like. I don't like turtlenecks that are tight to my neck, so that's very comfortable. I was worried about the length of the arms, but with these really long cuffs, it has made the arms the right length for me. I am glad I lengthened the body by 2 inches. As you can see, it would have been quite a bit shorter on me if I hadn't done so, and I like my tops to come down to the high hip like this. Now, this hip band, this bottom band, is exactly my hip size. I mean, it's not tight at all, but it's right close to my body. So I cut the size 14, which is the size I wear in ready to wear, and it is also the size that my measurements on the pattern envelope put me into, and I think it's the perfect size for me. So based on my experience, I would say that this runs true to size. And I love it. I can see myself wearing this a lot, and I can see myself making more of these. So I'm glad you came along with me on this journey of making the Sew House 7 toaster sweater. And if you're curious to see another version of the Sew House 7 toaster sweater, please go over to my friend Caroline's channel and check out what she has done. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.